No!
How about this? The U.S. Park Police are...
Let's start by storming Blackgate!
What's going on, everyone? So welcome to part 5 of my Criterion collection. Yes, that is right. I'm giving this to you guys early. I honest to God thought that this was going to be something that I would give to you guys in November when part 2 of obviously Criterion collection Blu-rays go on sale at Barnes & Nobles for 50% off, because obviously it happens twice a year, July and November, in case you didn't know, for both DVDs and Blu-rays. But again, I said it briefly in the video I did earlier this month of part 4 of my Criterion collection that I might be going back for round 2, and sure enough, I did. About a week or so ago, I decided to go to the Barnes & Nobles near my place, and I decided to pick up 4 of them. Now, the 4 Blu-rays that I did buy that were Criterion, there were 2, though, that I did want to pick up as well, and unfortunately, those 2 that I wanted to pick up weren't at the store. So what I did was I was, keeping my eye out, and they unfortunately still weren't there. So what I decided to do was buy it off Amazon, because fortunately enough, Amazon is actually price matching, and that is something that I really was cherishing. And those 2 movies actually came in the mail today. So that is why altogether I bought 6 more Criterion Collection Blu-rays that technically are 50% off the retail price of Barnes & Nobles. But again, 4 of them are Barnes & Nobles, 2 of them are Amazon. So figured I would give you guys that little bit of exposition. But again, 6 movies that are Blu-rays I will be talking about that are Criterion. So enough exposition. Let's start talking. So, time to open these bad boys up. So the first one I want to talk about that I got was Blue is the Warmest Color. I got this on Amazon. It was like $12. $12 for a Criterion Blu-ray. That is unheard of. And honestly, me having not seen this movie and knowing very little about it, I'm excited to watch this movie. I'm very excited. I haven't really been able to see it on any platforms. I think briefly it was on Netflix, but I don't think I was really in the mood per se to watch it. So I decided to, obviously now that it's not really on any platforms and seeing that it's $12, I was like, you know what? It's time to shine. It's time to buy this movie. It's long. I know it might be a little bit before I finally watch this movie, but even still. But I'm still excited to watch this movie. And owning it on Criterion, I mean, look at this. It looks amazing. So that's Blue is the Warmest Color. Next up, we have an interesting kind of dilemma. And next up, we have City Lights. So City Lights, I technically have seen before. About 7 years ago, I got it at the library on DVD. And I'll never forget it because it was all scratched up, the DVD, because, it's a library DVD. In the last 10 minutes, I remember hearing about how great the last 10 minutes is. And of course, the last 10 minutes is when it's scratched up and it refused to play the last 10 minutes. So I still have no idea how this movie ends in the slightest. But I remember the previous 76 minutes being a joy to watch. So I saw this, at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this. I love Charlie Chaplin from what I've seen of him, at least. So I had to, own this movie. I'm super pumped, honestly. I'm hoping those last 10 minutes are really good. And honestly, here's something, other thing. I hope that the last 10 minutes actually play. It's a Blu-ray, it should play, but holy cow, that would be just bad luck. So that's City Lights that I bought. Next up is Mirror. Now, Mirror I have also seen. Mirror I saw like 3-4 years ago. It was a dark time, honestly, when I watched this movie. I don't really remember too much about it. I know it's one of the shorter Andrei Tarkovsky movies, so I figured I would buy it. In addition to, similar to me buying Solaris and Stalker, I want to give his work a second chance. And in the case of Solaris, obviously I haven't seen before, but Mirror I have. And Mirror, I don't really remember too much. I checked my Letterboxd, I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. So I'm assuming it's probably going to go up, just with how much I've matured the last 3-4 years in terms of my movie taste. So I'm excited, honestly, to give it another go. So yeah, that's Mirror. Next up is Mashima, A Life in 4 Chapters. This movie, I have no idea what it's about other than it's Mashima, A Life in 4 Chapters. That is all I know. I have heard a lot of good things about this movie, though. A lot. So many people I know that I follow on YouTube really dig this movie. And again, I have no idea why. But I do know it is a Criterion movie. And I figured I would blind buy this. So I'm hoping that it's good. And plus, look at this cover. Like, this cover is beautiful, man. So I had to blind buy it. I had to. Please be good. Next up is movie I've been looking to rewatch, I should say, again, and that is The Night of the Hunter. This movie I haven't seen in over 7.5 years. So yeah, it's about time to give this movie a second watch. I remember loving it. It's short too, so I'm sure that I'll really, nourish everything. I mean, this was one of the first movies that obviously focused on a serial killer. Obviously, M, I believe, was the first one, but this one, especially in America cinema, it's kind of a pioneer, honestly, and it's such a unique movie from what I remember. So I'm excited to give this a second go, which is why I decided to buy it. And last but not least, this one, I can't lie, I was on the fence to buying, but I finally decided, I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to buy it. And the last one is Night of the Living Dead. A very influential movie, but for some reason, I've only seen it, I believe, twice. Both times I watched it was like 6-7 years ago. And I remember always thinking of Dawn of the Dead, the sequel that came out, I believe, like a decade later. I remember thinking that that was better. And I haven't seen either of those movies since then. So I am curious to watch this movie again, especially because I remember my one film class, we did watch this movie. And I remember liking it a little bit more, but I'm kind of curious if I'm going to like it even more. I'm hoping, because again, I did buy this movie. But I think that as a fellow filmmaker, I'll probably be able to respect it and appreciate it a lot more. So that's why I decided to buy it. So yeah, those are the 6 Criterion Blu-rays that I picked up, guys. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts on what you guys picked up. And yeah, November is going to be coming around the corner before we know it. And I already have some movies that I'm looking to pick up. Not going to spoil it here. But yeah, my bank is not going to be happy in November. I know it certainly wasn't in July. But guys, those are again my Criterion Blu-rays that I picked up. Again, curious to hear your guys' thoughts on what you picked up. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.